This is a story of how I've helped my daughter overcome her anxiety when it comes to flying and getting on escalators at the airport. If you suffer from anxiety or you know somebody that suffers from anxiety, especially when it comes to travel, definitely make sure you save this video and send it to them because it's going to help them. I am not sure exactly when she started to have this fear of flying, but it happened pretty quickly and all of a sudden. But I also know that when it comes to anxiety, the most important thing that you do is you do the things that cause you fear. You just make sure that you're armed and you're ready and you've got the tools in your toolbox, so to speak, to help you when you know that that anxiety is going to start to kick in. So she started to kind of have a little bit of a panic attack when we went to the airport. It started about 2 years ago. She was kicking and screaming and she was saying she's not getting on the airplane and she refused to go. And it got to the point where when we got to the airport, she said that she was going to throw up because she was so nervous and that she couldn't get on that airplane. Now, as a mom, you know how heartbreaking that is to hear and to see your daughter acting that way. So then for the longest time, every time we would go to the airport, I would have gum ready for her. I would have some fidget toys. I would have some books ready to read, and I would have her favorite songs ready to go on a playlist. But the key was I was not going to not go on the airplane, and I was not going to go on the escalators. She needed to get exposed to it, and she needed to do it every single time and be ready and know and label it and call it her anxiety when her stomach started to hurt or when she felt like she was throwing up. We're like, no, you're okay. Yes, your stomach hurts, but it's because of your anxiety. You're not really sick. So she learned to talk back to her anxiety. And she was ready to go. She was armed with all of the tools from her toolkit. And by the time we were done and by the time we landed, she was feeling just fine. Now, we're a family that travels all the time, and so she had to get used to flying. And I am happy to report that we just got back from spring break and we were in Florida, and she had zero, and I mean zero issues and zero anxiety this time when we got on the flight and when we came back home. She holds my hand for takeoff and landing, but even this time, she actually kind of forgot to do it. So the key is not to stop doing the things that cause you anxiety, but to actually push through it, talk back to it, be armed and ready, have a toolkit ready for you for when you do start to feel anxious. But most importantly, don't not do the things that cause you anxiety, because it gets easier and easier every single time that you do it. And eventually the anxiety kind of just disappears. What happens is if we don't tackle the anxiety head on, it kind of gets buried and then it manifests itself in other ways as well. So it might start as a fear of flying, but then it turns into a fear of driving, a fear of going to school, whatever it may be. You've got to learn how to deal with the hard, and we've got to be able to equip ourselves and our children that we can do hard things. Give it a try and let me know how it works for you.